Welcome to Infinity Capital, everyone. This is Raj. Let's do a quick review on Indraprasth Gas Limited. I did make a video of this a couple of months ago, stating a bullish scenario in this stock. Well, the stock has not gone anywhere from that point on. So, some new developments have happened in the stock and we are re-looking this position. So Indraprastha Gas is in the gas distribution business. So primarily, they are in the NCR Delhi region. They also supply gas to areas like Noida, Ghaziabad. These are the states that they are state cities that they are supplying to. So IGL was formed by a JV between GAIL and Bharat Petroleum. Government of India is the GAIL is the main promoter in the company, 22%. Bharat Petroleum 22%. Government of India holds around 5%. Right. So let's find out more about this company. So they are one of the pioneers in gas distribution. So catering to 1.1 million CNG vehicles, 1.4 million domestic customers. They also cater to the commercial and industrial customers. So what is their business segment like? It's piped natural gas. So they supply it to, they have a network of around 13,500 kilometers, right? And it has roughly 14 lakh connections in Delhi and other areas. Compressed natural gas, they cater to roughly around 12 lakh vehicles in Delhi NCR region. All right, and they've introduced some prepaid cards, increasing their digital initiatives. So collection, 33% of the collection comes through digital payments. Natural gas for commercial and industrial usage. So the customer base has increased from 2,400 to 3,100 in 2020. Right. So this is what the business is all about. They also get bulk orders from armed forces. And then they have, in association with Indian Oil Corporation, they're planning to set up a HCNG station as a pilot project. Right. Plus they have mobile CNG dispensing units. Okay. They are also planning to put up a gas meter manufacturing unit. This would help them get do a backward integration. Right. So this is what the business is all about. They are looking for expansion as well. So they have set aside roughly around 1,400 crores. All right, and these are the associate companies. So they provide CNG to certain parts of Maharashtra as well, Pune and some other cities. UP Gas Limited, they acquired these two acquired some stake in these two businesses, and they hold 50% of the paid up equity capital in both CUGL and MNGL. Right, so you can find out more about that from the annual report. This is the credit rating of the company, CARE AAA stable, right? They have around 600 crores of bank facilities and 400 crores of proposed bonds, right? So I'm not sure if the bonds are out yet because it's written proposed over here. So, probably do a deep dive on that one later, right? So what are the positive factors about the company? So the strengths are basically, they are one of the pioneers. They have exclusive rights also, for distribution. For a 25-year, they have a 25-year exclusivity right, from the day of commencement. So, and plus they have strong parentage because, GAIL and BPCL are the main promoters. So infrastructure support is there for them. Right, so infrastructure exclusivity in authorized GA. So basically one of the leading players in CGD business. So they have dominant market position in NCT and Delhi. So they have a first mover advantage and market exclusivity. Right, so this is what I was talking about, guys, that it will have infrastructure exclusivity as a city gas carrier for 25 years from the date of receiving authorization, right? So pretty much, they have a dominant position. Apart from that, you can come here and read the whole credit rating. It will give you more understanding of the company, right? Now, what are the risks in the business? Regulatory risks in the CGD business. So any new regulations coming out of the PNGRB might affect the business, or they might allow new entrants into the business, or they change the rules of the game. That might hurt IGL's business. Significant capex plans, if they are taking debt to basically fund their capex, that would be a problem. So they have envisaged an annual capex of around 1500 crores over the next 5 years. They'll be using through the internal accruals. So their liquidity is pretty strong. They have around 2818 crores, and free cash and cash equivalents are around 2688 crores. So as of March 31st, the free cash is around 2800 crores. Right now, let's do a CFO CAGR check. So if you see their cash flow from operations, CAGR has been robust. You take any timeline, 5 year, 10 year, 10 years, 2 years, 3 years, it has been excellent. Let's have a look at the ratios. So debt to equity, debt negligible, they have no debt, and asset turns are pretty low right now. But if you see asset turns earlier have been around 1, so the asset turns are low because they've taken significant amount of capex. The asset turns have gone down. So once this capex goes live, we can see asset turns improving. That in turn will increase the revenues and profitability as well. So their operating profit margins have become much better in 2021. So if you see they are clocking in the highest profit margins. Their net profit margin has also become better, right? So let's try and find out more about the company. On the shareholding pattern, 45% is with promoters, 22% with FIIs, 16% with DIIs. Government holds 5%. So the shareholding pattern is excellent. I like to see more stake with promoters and institutions rather than retailers, because retailers can't hold on to their position for long. So if the stock goes up by 10-20% or a little bit, they'll start selling, or if the stock starts falling also, they'll start selling. So we need strong investors in any company, so that the price sustains. If the market is falling and the stock is falling, that's a separate thing. So let's look at the cash flow. Excellent. If you see, since 2016, in 5 years, their cash flow has almost doubled, more than doubled. On the balance sheet front, the fixed assets have gone up by roughly 2000 crores. They've taken capex, so that because of that, they have roughly around 2300 crores of investments and 1353 crores of so roughly around 4000 crores of cash equivalents, investments, which they can use for further capex. Interesting thing here is their accumulated depreciation has gone up pretty significantly. So because the assets are increasing, the depreciation is also increasing. The depreciation has almost gone up by 300 basis points, and that is weighing on the profitability of the company. So if you look at the profit and loss, 2018, since then their depreciation has gone up by roughly around 100 crores, 120 crores. So once the capex comes live, the sales will start coming at a very higher clip, coupled with operating profit margin, higher operating profit margin. We can expect this stock to start going up very fiercely, because revenues will start coming up at a higher clip. So suddenly, a lot of capex goes live and the revenue will just sort of blast. So that is evident from, looks like, we see some signs of that happening. If we see here in September quarter, they've recorded highest sales, since December 2018. Let me show it to you on Excel sheet. So September, the sales are highest, and sequentially also the numbers are pretty high. Sequentially there's a difference of 400 crores. Their operating profit margins have also become better as compared to March 2019 and up till now, and the net profit has come at an extremely higher clip at around 418 crores. Now this could be a seasonal thing, because if you see last year also in September, they had 380 crores of sales. So we'll have to see, now in December quarter results, we'll have to see if the sales and profitability is coming at a higher clip or not, right? So that remains to be seen as to what happens. Now what I can see here is also in September 19 also the net profit was around 415 crores, right? So probably this September quarter may be an anomaly, so we'll have to wait and find out in the next quarter if this earnings momentum is going to continue or not, right? Apart from that, let's look at the chart. The PE ratio, the PE is at around 24, the median PE is around 31, right? So if we do a calculation on trailing 12-month EPS of 21, even if the stock reaches just a second guys, yes, so median PE is around 31, so 31 into 21, 651. So if the stock reaches its median PE, we can expect a price point of 651 on IGL. That will take some time. That could happen if the credit rating becomes better, the revenues start coming at a higher clip. The margins have already increased, so we might see some sort of re-rating happening in the stock in the near term. So something that we need to follow very closely. Let's look at the charts and what they have to say. So basically this stock 50-day moving average is trending downwards. 200-day has also gone downwards because since September the stock has been trading down. September, October, November, December, it's been more than 100 days. So so this is what the moving averages are doing. However, what is the overall view? So if we look here, the stock is pretty much has not gone anywhere in the past almost 2 years. So last year Jan, the price was around 470, 480, and it is trading near that range. Right. So what is the analysis here? So basically, if we look at the profitability in March 2020, right? So since March 2020, the profits are up by around 200 crores, right? So and we remove December, so 300 crores out of, so basically till December 2020, till December 19, the profitability was around 950 crores. And the trailing 12 months profits are at 454 crores. So the profit is up roughly by around 40% or so. However, the stock has not gone anywhere. The stock is trading, at the same price. Stock is trading at the price of where it was in Jan 2020. So initially I expect a 25-30% move in this stock, and if the earning momentum continues, then I'm expecting at least a 50 to 60% up move in this stock. Now, couple of things that have happened recently. The mid and small cap index have been trading weak, so we have to take that into consideration as well. So chances are that this stock might start consolidating here, or probably it might have a capitulation. So it's already fallen. The stock is already down, say 24%, 25% from its recent peak. It might make another low, and then start going up again. So it all depends on how the broader market is also performing. So we'll have to take that into consideration. So what am I doing right now is I will be building my position slowly. So I'll be looking to basically buy between this range. Just a moment, guys. This is the range, 450 and 500. If the stock falls and comes down to 380, then I will add more to my position. So I'm just taking a small position right now, testing to see how it is moving. Overall, the fundamentals look pretty great. So my guess is, this by the time the next earnings report are out, we'll get more clarity on earnings momentum, and then we can add to our position. December is a seasonal month, guys, because FIIs are on a holiday from mid-December because they have only one big festival, Christmas. So they usually resume work, somewhere between the mid-Jan. So most probably we should expect some action in the market post mid-Jan, right? So this has been my observation in my past 14 years of experience in the market. So that's about it, guys. This is an educational video. It's not a buy sell recommendation. Thanks a lot for watching.